Welcome back, folks. Toaster here. I got a replay today by Zach the Miscreant, or Beast Zach, I guess he is on here. But he is in his Object 705A. It is a rear-mounted turret heavy tank with 650 alpha and a rather derpy gun, as you can see from that first shot. Now, we're on Lakeville, and it is a tier 10, tier 9, tier 8 battle, so he is top tier, and he's going to play very aggressively as he's just moving into position in the city. Looking at the team, they have a standard B that I saw was 3 marked as the battle started, and so he's kind of taken control of the middle, and there are 4 tanks in the valley, pardon me, and a few over here in the city, quite a bit over here in the city actually. And he's going to take his time to aim this and get a nice shot on the T100 LT. So, good job. Good on him. Looks like our standard B maybe panicked and, yes, and crashed. So, as it were, he's going to move forward. And I don't know if Zach is watching the map or what, but he is facing a Kronbahn. And there are 4 guys at least in the valley on the enemy team, so it should be a fair city fight. He does take a shot of damage from the Kronbahn, but 1 out of 3 isn't bad. The tracks on this thing eat a lot, and it's an excellent side scraper. So we'll just see how things go. He's got to know that that Kronbahn is on a reload, and the Kronbahn way over angles. His reload must be fairly quick on that Kronbahn. And he punishes the Kronbahn for 700 damage, which is a nice high roll. And it looks like he's just motoring on, you know. Excellent shot on the 46, Progetto 46. He didn't pen, but, you know, such is life, right? How tier 8 with almost no side armor has the tracks eaten, I don't know. Especially with a 152mm gun this has. But nevertheless, he's just pushing forward, and it looks like he is, as he hits that char for tur 4, he is being very, very aggressive. I'm not sure I would have been this aggressive, especially with a Type 4 around there, but apparently they're making it work. It's 4-3, and one thing you'll notice is that the enemy team does have more in the valley. They've got a 430U and a few. How did a Super Pershing end up in this matchmaking? He must be fail platooned. Yeah, with that Progetto 46. And here we are just showing off the side scrape. Now, with the 152mm, he can auto pen the side of that Kronbahn, but apparently there's no need. So they are ahead 6-3 right now, but it's very, very hard to push in to the enemy cap. And I think, especially with this rear-mounted turret, you don't really have very good gun depression. So it makes it a really tough sell to do that. And obviously they've got some tank destroyers. But one thing about this TD is that there's an overmatch for the 152. He's going to overmatch him, and anytime he connects with that upper plate, I think he's going to pen him. If it was a 103B, he would have to hit either left or right of the gun, I think, or just that strip down the middle. I can't remember what the armor layout is of that, but anyway, there are areas of 60mm, but the 103 itself, the tier 9, is much easier to pen. And you can see this armor does work. He's taken 3,700 damage in block damage, and he's only taken one hit of damage. There's some dangerous tanks out there, though. That 263 has a very nasty gun. It's got the 560 Alpha, I think, gun. As our buddy Beast Zach figures out. So he's just trying to side scrape. Look how easily this thing must be so heavy, because he just pushes that tank out of the way like nothing. And the STRV is doing a pretty good job of just harassing him. But now that he's spotted, that STRV should not be hanging around. So there's a nice shot. That's 3,000 damage, 4,200 block, 300 assist. So we'll see what he can do. It looks like some guys are actually reading the map, going back to base because they're afraid they're going to get capped out. And this 13,105 is too far away. He should be up closer because you're not going to spot the cap without being closer than that. I mean, tier 10, almost every tank has some camo. So you can't just put them on the edge of your view range or you're not going to spot them. And it looks like he is slowly inching up. And the Progetto 46 gets taken out trying to cap. And his failed platoon mate in the Super Pershing also gets killed. And as usual, someone's calling everybody on the team dumb. You know, it's what would it be without that? So if anyone has the Char Futur, I'd like to see a good game in it. So even if it's a first class or a second class or something, I'd like to see a game in it and just see how that thing plays. So I've watched a few Unicums play it, and I just thought it'd be a nice game for you to, a nice tank for us to check out. So the Emil 2, this thing only has 250 standard pen, but if you hit the sides of the turret at all, you're good. However, Zach decides he's going to go for the hull. Because, again, it's an auto pen in the side of the hull. And there's those tracks eating just tons of damage. And now, you notice that it's completely green. That's because Zach has loaded his gold rounds, which have 317 pen. So again, he's got 4,600 blocked, 4,300 damage, and he's just playing this to the strengths of his tank. And just that was just a sad miss there. But he's kind of on a time clock because somebody could come around behind him. He's not quite low enough health yet. But that SU-130, I guess you really can't flank him because he's got the STRV there. He could, but I suppose that's kind of a tough sell. And he HEs this Emil. He gets sick of trying to pen him, and he just shoots HE at him. Oh, here we go. Look at that. He got 2 kills with that HE shell. How often are you going to see that? That's pretty impressive. 4,600 damage, and he knows it too. So he's pretty excited about that. I would be too. So there's just 3 tanks left. There's the 263, which is fairly dangerous. The SU-130 PM, which, you know, it has pretty good pen. But that SU-130 PM knows that he's got his reload. And he pulls up and takes a nice shot. So we're down to 500 health. Let's see what Zach does here. And he aims for the 263, waits for him to straighten out, and then aims for him. And even though the SU-130 PM high rolls, he is not going to get the kill. Zach makes a little bit of a mistake, but in a paper TD against something that heavy, good luck. Now his lower plate's hidden as well, so he's able to take a nice meaty chunk out of that IS-3. You got to kind of feel bad for the IS-3 in this case. Bottom tier heavy. 6,300 damage though, 5,500 block, 663 assist. It looks like he completed some sort of mission as well, so good for you, Zach. Yeah, I haven't played this thing. I played against it, and even in my E3, I have a hard time penning them. You know, with gold rounds, it's kind of tough to pen them even. So they do have pretty good armor. They're just really quite derpy and very slow, and the gun is not very accurate on them. So you don't see a lot of them on the battlefield. But if you're into super heavies, this is the Russian variant of a super heavy. It looks like Zach has decided he's just going to cap, which is fine. I mean, he's never going to get to that IS-3. He's got 22 hit points, so it's smarter just to cap it out. And those guys at Companzer, all he has to do is just rush the guy. He's got 600 hit points. All he has to do is drive up there and shoot him. So it's kind of weird that he has not decided to do that. Anyway, that's the end of the game. Let's look at the after action on this. Okay, here's Zach at his after action report. Got an ace tanker, as we said, a steel wall, unsurprisingly, and a high caliber. He carried his team with 6,371 damage, 5 kills, 1,228 base XP. That SU-130 PM, 3,300 damage in a tier 10 game. That's really, really good. And the IS-3 actually did pretty good as well. So 21 shots fired, 14 hits, 10 pens. It's a derpy gun, you know, and 3 splashes. So out of his 21, he kind of connected with 13. And the 6,300 damage, 5,500 block by armor. That's over that's like 2.5 times his tank. So that's always helpful. And then 663 base player assist. Therefore, he ended up with a 7K game out of that. He ended up resupplying some consumables. So 18,000 credits he earned on a premium account. Would have been almost dead even if he wouldn't have resupplied that consumable on a standard account. And that's on a 5 times, and he had a personal action payout, 12,894 XP. So that'll help the old crew a lot. Appreciate you sending that in, Zach. I am reviewing your guys' replays, and I will continue to do that. I'm kind of getting burnt out today. Sorry if this is a little bit of a slower replay analysis for you. I've just done a few of them today, so we'll maybe take a break for today and pick up tomorrow. So we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Tonester out.